Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Quiche Lorraine Day. And I'm not a movie guy or some of these. Maybe it was a sitcom. Real Men Don't Eat Quiche. I don't know. I like quiche. Especially if it's got bacon in it. I don't know. Does it change it from being quiche if there's bacon in it? I don't know, but give me quiche with bacon. Yeah, I'll go that direction. A French delight. That's where quiche Lorraine came from. Was from France. National Sugar Bee Apple Day. You get a honey bee stinging the apples, and you get sugar bee apples. Pick Strawberries Day. Now, when you go out and pick strawberries, does it come with whipped cream? I don't think so, but I like that one. I don't think So I should have put this on our board. I don't have it on there, but today's National Rescue Dog Day. That's a good one. We like animals. Okay. Hey, something? Yesterday when we were talking about all the good things that were going on, I forgot to stop and talk. And this is a good one because it doesn't happen very often. But did you watch baseball over the weekend? How about the Angels sweeping the Dodgers? Yeah. Okay. I'm an Angel fan. I know we've got a crappy team, but for at least for a little while until they come to Angel Stadium, we get bragging rights. The Angels swept the Dodgers over the weekend. Dodgers kept on losing. That doesn't bother me, but I'm not a Dodger fan. I've got a lot of friends that are Dodger fans. And I don't know about being a bandwagoner. My son's, I'm going to kid my son because he's more of a bandwagoner. He got married, so now he has to be a Dodger fan. Now I think that I'm going to get his son Angel gear. So, it's got to be get the Angel gear for him. We'll get him some Ram gear, get him some USC Trojan gear. It's getting to be, at least we got the Rams. I mean, Lakers, they suck. It just baffles me. Why do they want to keep paying LeBron James so much money? And I just saw a report. I don't know whether it was clickbait or real, that they want to bring back Anthony Davis. I just look at that as a problem waiting to happen.
You know better than that.
You got two guys that don't play the whole year and then wonder why they lose in the playoffs. Now let's get on with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 125 points. The S&P 500 is down 20. NASDAQ is down 65.68. And oil down 37 cents a barrel, $62.32 a barrel. Does that mean we're getting better gas prices? Does that mean I can go and fill up and not pay an exorbitant amount? Well, I'm in California, so we know that's not going to happen. $3.17, we call it $3.18 is the national average for a gallon of gasoline. $4.90 here in California. Ow! Thanks, Gavin. We are down from $5.20 a year ago. So it is a little bit better, but you still look at it and you say, okay, maybe about $3.50, Josh, over there, $3.55, give or take. Okay, so what, $1.30 a gallon cheaper than we are here in California? $2.80 in Texas. $2.80. Cheapest gas in the land is $2.66.5. It's in Mississippi, so I'm not even going to go there to fill up. But I would go to Arizona, $3.39 or $3.40 in Nevada. I wonder why Nevada is more than Arizona. Got to wonder about some of these things. I know in California it's because Gavin likes taxes, Gavin likes fees, so we all get to suffer. Home Depot coming across the wire. Won't raise prices because of tariffs as U.S. sales show surprise growth. Well, maybe Home Depot sees what I told you yesterday. The tariff might be increasing prices on the goods, but the shipping costs are coming down. So, and I'll tell you, you know, when I used to be in that business, so I understood it pretty well, that sometimes the cost of transportation can make dramatic effects on the cost of goods, because what's really important is the final cost. It doesn't matter what any one given component is. And it's the same thing I've told you many, many times when we're talking about home loans. I hear people say, well, there's no way I'm going to have mortgage insurance, Ron. And I say, okay, I guess it means you don't want money, because mortgage insurance is irrelevant. What is the monthly payment? That's the relevant number. How many dollars come out of your pocket? Why do I pound the table every single day on the Home Select loan from our friends over at Geneva Financial? GetHomeselect.com. Why? Because even though the interest rate is higher than many, many loans, the interest expense is lower than any loan I've seen. I know it doesn't sound logical. I know it doesn't sound like possible. But when you run a simulation and you see the effects of interest and compounding of interest, and when you're paying principal first, you realize that how much money is actually going to the banks. Why is it that the majority of banks will not offer this loan? In fact, to my knowledge, there's only 2 in the country that are offering the Home Select loan. 2. Now, there's hundreds of mortgage lenders out there. There's hundreds of banks out there. Why is it that only 2 offer the loan? Well, the banks make more money. They don't want you to know about it. They don't want you to understand it. If they wanted you to know about it, if they wanted you to understand it, their bottom lines wouldn't be as big as they are. Now, do I care about the bank's bottom line? No. Obviously, I want our company to stay in business, so we need to make some money. But you make a little bit on a lot of loans, it helps. And if we're doing the right thing for people, that's even better. And as a certified liability advisor helping people build wealth through strategic debt management, it's our goal is to see how much wealth we can help you build by using the right program. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You could use some of your equity to give your children the gift of home. What buyers need to know about Homeowners Association fees. Vacation without guilt. First-time homebuyer stress. Here's how to beat it. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They don't tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They only tell us the number you need to put into your mortgage calculator to find out what your payment will be, your monthly principal and interest payment. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, shame on you. We give it away every morning. rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Looks like it was almost a clean sweep. Almost all of them were up yesterday. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.859. Jumbo 30-year fix, 7.039. FHA 30-year fix, 6.571. VA 30-year fix, 6.463. All of those were up. The only one that was down was the USDA loan. Generally, the rural areas and no down payment, generally, 6.391. That one was down. And if you want to know our thoughts about the market, we're here every morning. All you have to do is, or you can go and get our story, rsrlinks.com/market minute. But let's see what the markets are doing today. The S&P 500 is down 24.91 right now. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury, which is not coming up on my screen on that one. I fooled them. I put a backup on here, so that way when they don't show me the numbers that I want to see, right when I want to see them, I've got backup numbers. 10-year Treasury is up 4.2 basis points right now at 4.489, pushing that level of 4.5. Not something we want to see. Mortgage bonds have come back down a little bit. They're down 13 basis points. So when the bond goes down, the rate goes up. What's driving all of this? Well, there's still a lot of fear out there, and that's one of the big issues that we've been watching. And if you've been listening to any of our commentary on these items, we're watching a lot of different areas right now. And we're looking at the leading economic indicators fell 1% month over month, extending a trend of 36 declines in the past 38 months. 6-month annualized LEI, leading economic indicators, now at negative 3.9%, consistent with past recessions. Hello, Federal Reserve, where are you?
Idiot. Such an idiot.
Yeah. So we compare then the coincident economic index and the leading economic indicators. The spread right now exceeds the critical 6% threshold, historical recession indicators since seen in 1969, 73, 79, 81, 90, 2000, and 2008. Service sector margin squeeze. Prices paid remain high. Prices received dropped to a 4-month low. Supply availability index fell to negative 16, and negative 46.1 is the future. Business activity, the New York Fed index, negative 16.1 in May. 4th straight double-digit contraction. Philadelphia Fed index, a record low of negative 26.7 in April. Consumer sentiment, only 13%. See better business conditions, record low, better business conditions, better business personal finances. People aren't seeing the strength that the Federal Reserve sees. So what are we looking at from there then is consumer sentiment. We've talked about that. Inflation expectations are rising, which is not a good sign when we talk about the Federal Reserve. Technical levels, the Treasury yields found buying interest above 4.55% with resistance levels marked at 4.69 and an extreme at 4.81. That's all technical analysis of the bonds. Now, when there's not a lot of data coming out, and there isn't, then we start looking at the technicals to see what's going on there. And right now, the economic calendar for today, all we have is 7 Federal Reserve members speaking. So that can make the market pretty volatile. We will see Barkin, Fed Barkin is speaking tomorrow. We're looking at crude oil inventories tomorrow. We've got a bond auction tomorrow. And then we've got, it's not a lot of data this week. It's the holiday week. Now, I am looking and saying, okay, we're still at a point where the 10-year versus the 2-year spread is at 49 basis points, still inverted, which means which tells us that it's a leading indicator for recessions as well. Now, if all these indicators are saying recession, where is the Fed?
Idiot. Such an idiot.
It's amazing. And we see some of the other markets around the world, they're already taking action. So if they're out taking action, why isn't our Fed trying to be a leader instead of a follower? Good question. But, we've got Jerome Powell over there, and he's been late for everything. I wonder if he is late for his own birth. Now, I wonder about those things. Yeah, I know. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. I'll get it right eventually, Josh. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. What are we gonna do today, John? Let's talk about a real-time real estate segment today. I think I've got time to get that in. Real-time real estate. What buyers need to know about homeowners associations. Now, aren't they fun nowadays? When buying a home, you're probably thinking about mortgage rates, home prices, your down payment, and maybe even your closing costs. You may not be thinking about homeowners association fees. While you won't necessarily have these, you should know it's a possibility depending upon where you decide to live. Homeowners Association is basically an organization that oversees a housing community, including shared spaces, and sets and enforces rules for things like upkeep. Some buyers love the perks that come with an HOA. Others may see the fees as an extra expense. The key is knowing what they cover and whether the benefits outweigh the costs for you. The benefit of having an HOA, think about this. If you've fallen in love with a home because of how beautiful the community is, maybe it's the landscaping, the well-maintained streets, or the overall curb appeal, there's a good chance the HOA is one of the reasons why it looks so good. Here are some of the biggest perks. Neighborhood maintenance. Many HOAs cover landscaping, snow removal, and upkeep of common areas. This helps maintain the neighborhood's overall appearance. Amenities, depending on the neighborhood, an HOA could also include access to perks like a pool, clubhouse, fitness center, private security, golf courses, all of that stuff. In these cases, while you have to pay an HOA fee, you're also saving money in some ways because you don't need to have separate gym or pool memberships anymore. Property value protection. Since HOAs enforce community standards, they prevent homes from falling into disrepair. So you don't have to worry about nearby eyesores hurting your property value. Less personal upkeep. In some communities, HOAs even take care of exterior maintenance, roof repairs, or other shared responsibilities, reducing the work for homeowners. HOA fees, more commonly, especially in newer neighborhoods. Does every house have an HOA fee? No, not all homes have them, but they are common, especially in newer communities. In fact, over 80% of newly built single-family homes are now part of an HOA, according to the Wall Street Journal. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart, HOAs, increasingly common, and you see the chart going up. But it's not just new builds that have homeowners associations. Homes that were previously lived in may have an HOA fee too. According to Axios, roughly 4 out of every 10 homes had an HOA in 2024. HOA fees and your home search. Ask your agent which homes do and do not have HOA fees as part of your search and how much the fees are. Some neighborhoods have quarterly fees, some have monthly, some don't have any at all, some have both. To give you some sort of baseline, though, the median HOA fee rose last year to $125 a month based on a report from Realtor.com. But remember, the costs vary, and sometimes these fees give you access to great perks. As Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, explains, quote, when considering a home with an HOA, buyers should work to understand what benefits it provides, like maintenance, security, or communal amenities, and how the HOA fees factor into their overall budget. Before buying a home in an HOA community, it's a good idea to review the rules and fees so you know exactly what's included, how that fits into your overall budget, and what restrictions may apply. Would you rather pay an HOA fee for added perks or skip it and have full control over your property? Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about what your opinion is. And again, if you want to know any of this information, just again, give us a call. We have the information and we have the real estate professionals anywhere in the sound of my voice that can help you with HOA fees and let you know what they are. Remember, you've got to include those in your loan package. Lenders need to know that. I've seen many files where lenders don't have that information, and they do a pre-approval and then find out, well, you qualified at $500,000, but that was without that $400 a month HOA fee. Those of our listeners out in the Coachella Valley, Inland Empire, some of those properties have HOA fees, $3,000, $4,000. I know one community is $1,100 a month on the HOA fees, so they can be a significant issue. The other thing is there are some of the HOAs who are saying you need to be a member of the clubhouse, but it's not part of your HOA fee. You got to pay them separate. If that's the case, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac may not like that particular file, so you got to watch out for that as well. So just be aware of what you're looking at. We don't want you to get into any of those snake bites as you go through the loan process. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, you could use some of your equity to give your children the gift of home. Vacation without the guilt. First-time home buyers stress. Here's how to beat it and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. You could use some of your equity to give your children the gift of home. If you're a homeowner, chances are you've built up a lot of wealth. just by living in your house and watching its value grow over time. And that equity, it's something that could help change your child's life. Since affordability is still a challenge, a lot of first-time buyers are struggling to buy a home in today's market. Even if they have a stable job and a solid plan, buying can still feel out of reach, but that's where your equity could make all the difference. To give you an idea, the average homeowner with a mortgage has $311,000 worth of equity, according to Cotality, formerly CoreLogic. That's significant. Some parents are using a portion of their equity to help their children become homeowners too. Remember, 311 is national, probably double or triple that in Southern California. According to Bank of America, 49% of buyers between 18 and 26 got money from their parents to use toward their down payment. Again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart. Almost half of young buyers get money from their parents to help with a down payment. Even though the data doesn't specify how many parents use their equity, the wealth they've built through homeownership may have helped make it possible, especially given how much equity the average homeowner has today. While that's right for each person's, while what's right for each person's specific situation will vary on a case-by-case basis, that's a powerful legacy to pass on. It helps those younger people buy a home, build equity of their own, and begin the next chapter of their life with a little less financial stress and a lot more stability. And for those parents, it's a way to turn what they've built into something deeply meaningful. How about giving your kids an interest-free loan to buy their house? Wouldn't that be interesting? We've got some strategies on the Home Select program, gethomeselect.com, that you can actually show you how you give your kids an interest-free home loan. Gethomeselect.com. This isn't just about money for many homeowners. It's about being the reason their child gets to say, "We got a house," and giving them the kind of head start they might have only dreamed of at their age. And here's the part that really sticks. Compare the Market says, quote, of those who did receive monetary aid from parents and grandparents to buy a house, 45% of Americans said they would not have been able to purchase a house without financial support from parents and grandparents, unquote. Your equity could be the thing that makes home ownership possible for your children when they might not be able to do it on their own. So here's the question. If helping your kids buy a home was more feasible than you thought, would you want to explore that option? If you want to learn more or find out the best way to make it happen, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about how to do this. Let's consult with your financial advisor. And working together, we might find the solution to put your kids in a house sooner than they might otherwise have been able to. That's a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. So let's say, being that we're talking about buying that first house, Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com on Ron Siegel Radio, your trusted source for all things home finance and the American dream. Ron Siegel here, and today we're talking about something that doesn't get enough airtime. Why buying your first home can feel like a full-on stress test and what you can do about it. Now, if you're just getting started on your home ownership journey or thinking about it, I want you to know it's normal to feel overwhelmed. You're not alone. I've been helping families navigate this process for many decades. And here's what I've learned. The right education can take a whole lot of pressure off your shoulders. Let's walk through 5 things that can help you go from stressed to confident as you step into this big milestone. Tip number 1, know what lenders are looking at. First-time buyers tell me this all the time. I'm nervous about my credit. What if I don't qualify? Where do I even start? Nervous about your credit? rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. Look at that real quick. Totally valid questions, and here's the deal. Lenders don't expect you to be perfect, but they do look at things like your credit score. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Your income versus debt, your savings. Instead of guessing, Sit down with someone like me who can explain it in plain English. I'll show you how to improve your credit. rsrccpayment.com. What debt to income means and what you can actually do right now to move closer to that front door key. Tip number 2, budget for more than just the mortgage. Here's a biggie. Just because you're approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that's what you should spend. Home ownership comes with extra stuff. Property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, and yes, life still happens. Birthday dinners, school clothes, vacations. Let's build a real-world budget together so you're not house rich and lifestyle poor. Tip number 3, be smart about what you're shopping for. Look, everyone wants the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood with the granite countertops and the Instagram bathroom, right? But here's a reality check. You don't have to buy your forever home right out of the gate. Sometimes the best strategy is to buy in a solid neighborhood that's up and coming. Look for a home that needs cosmetic updates, easy stuff like painting and flooring. Focus on value and location, not perfection. I'll help you figure out what's most important to you, and we'll build your strategy from there. Tip number 4, use the right tools. If you've been Googling, how much house can I afford? You're not alone. But instead of guessing, use a mortgage calculator. Download apps. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Great app that'll help you with all kinds of information. It's got that mortgage calculator right in there. Understand that 30-second credit checkup. rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. And ask about down payment assistance programs. Most people are shocked to hear there are over 2,000 programs that can help with down payments and closing costs, especially for first-time buyers. We'll walk through them together. You might be closer than you think. Tip number 5, don't go it alone. Here's what I believe. Buying a home should never feel like a solo journey. You deserve someone who checks in with you, answers your questions fast, celebrates every step of the way. Whether you're just starting or already under contract, I'm here to guide you start to finish. Bottom line, if you've been losing sleep wondering, can I actually do this? Will I make a mistake? Is now the right time? Let me tell you, you're not alone. And yes, you can do this with the right education, a smart plan, and a little encouragement. Home ownership is within reach. Want help getting started? I offer a quick, no-pressure check-in where we'll talk through your goals, budget, and timeline. You can learn more, ronsiegelradio.com, or connect with me directly, bookrsr15.com. Let's book a little time on the calendar, bookrs15.com, because I'm not just here to do loans. I'm here to help families build wealth through smart, stress-free home ownership. Until next time, I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by GetHomeselect.com, GetHomeselect.com. And hey, don't forget, if you're thinking about buying that house, you got to get some free resources. I already talked to you about getting our mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Get the app. It's everything I'm going to tell you right now. It's all free. It costs you absolutely nothing. We pay for it. We give it to you. No big deal. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Do the 30-second checkup. rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. Get our annual home buyer's guide. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. And we update it every single month. rsrlinks.com. I'm sorry, every single quarter, not month. Every quarter we update that. rsrlinks.com/HBG. All of those totally free. Shopping in a specific neighborhood, you can't go wrong understanding what the neighborhood is, the values are. You can go to rsrlinks.com/homewealth. rsrlinks.com/homewealth. Darn, Josh, we're giving away the house today. rsrlinks.com/homewealth. Want to know what's going on in the neighborhood of your desire? rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. We're giving it all to you. I don't know how much more you could ask we could do for you than give it to you. And I think we're gonna break a little early, Josh. When we come back, I'm gonna talk about home sales, because I have heard some people talking about the idea that home sales are slowing or there's more inventory. How do you make your house stand out? How about doing what the builders do? We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about vacation without the guilt. All that and more. How can we have it do without the guilt? Got to have Jewish guilt somewhere. Yeah. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Again, we'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free. rsrlinks.com/debt-free. Vacation without guilt. 10 summer getaways on a budget. That's just from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio, where we don't just talk about homes and finances. We talk about living well and spending smart. They were diving into something a little lighter, but just as important when it comes to personal finance and peace of mind. 10 budget-friendly summer vacations that won't break the bank. Yeah, we're talking about how to get away without getting buried in credit card debt. Let's be honest, inflation is real, gas isn't cheap, and airline snacks are still questionable at best. But summer doesn't have to be canceled. With a little creativity and planning, you can enjoy a memorable vacation without sacrificing your financial goals. Let's break down the list. Number one, explore a national park. The U.S. has amazing natural playgrounds. Yosemite, Crater Lake, Shenandoah, Acadia, you name it. For the price of a park pass, For the price of a park pass, you get hiking views and Instagram-worthy photos. It's budget-friendly goldmine for families, couples, or solo adventurers. Number two, hit the beach affordably. Forget the luxury resorts instead. Check out places like Pismo Beach, Santa Cruz, or Oceanside here on the West Coast. If you're back east, Myrtle Beach or the Outer Banks are stunning. Pack your sunscreen, not your stress. Number three, take a road trip. Gas may be pricey, but experiences, priceless. Cruise the Pacific Coast Highway, wind through the Blue Ridge Parkway, or just explore California's hidden gems. Pro tip, build your route around quirky roadside attractions, great diners, and scenic overlooks. Number four, go camping. I don't know about this one. Go camping. I'm not a camper. I'll be the first to admit that. Josh, you a camper? Okay, he's a roughing it, tent and all that. Iron teepee. I can handle the iron teepee, 35 feet, 32 feet. That'll work for me. Camping's still king when it comes to budget travel. From Lake Tahoe to the Adirondacks, set up a tent or rent a cabin, bring the marshmallows, disconnect to reconnect with nature and your travel buddies. Number five, discover a new city. You don't have to fly to New York or LA. Try Portland, Reno, or Asheville. These cities offer walkable neighborhoods, fun food scenes, and cultural flair without the massive tourist tax. Number 6, seek out free attractions. Every city has free fun. You just have to look. Museums with no admission days, street festivals, outdoor concerts, and farmers markets. Google's your friend. Build your itinerary before you go to maximize free fun. Number 7, use travel apps to snag deals. Hopper, Kayak, Skyscanner, Hotel Tonight. These apps are like your travel savvy cousin who always finds the best deals. Set alerts. Be flexible. Jump on good prices when you see them. Number 8, travel off peak. Want the same beach fun, but with fewer people and lower bill? Go in early June or late August. Bonus points if you can travel midweek. Tuesday check-ins are usually cheaper than Fridays. Number 9, cook some of your own meals. Airbnb or cabin. Use the kitchen. You don't have to cook every meal, but skipping restaurant breakfasts or lunches can save a bundle. That $100 saved, that's your souvenir budget right there. Number 10, try an all-inclusive resort. Wait, aren't those expensive? Not always. Some all-inclusive spots in Lake Tahoe, Palm Springs, or Florida offer deals that include meals and activities. That's right. Eat, play, and relax. No surprises when the bill comes. Final thought, smart travel equals smart finances. Here's the truth. You can take a great summer trip without going into debt. But just like in home buying, the key is planning ahead, setting a budget, and making smart choices. Need help with the credit score? Want a plan to knock down debt before you book the trip? rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. And we can have a conversation. We've got tools, team members, and strategies to help you enjoy the journey and protect your financial future. Again, you want to look at how to improve your FICO score, rsrccpayment.com, to learn how to make smarter credit card payments, rsrccpayment.com. And remember, financial freedom includes the freedom to enjoy life guilt-free. Thanks for joining us today. Whether you're hiking Yosemite, relaxing in Reno, or road tripping through Route 66, remember, it's not about how much you spend, it's about how smart you are when you spend it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, where we talk about your money, your home, and your future. Until next time, stay smart, stay cool, and don't forget the sunscreen. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. So before the break, I was chatting a little bit with you about why is it that builders are doing so well right now, and we're starting to see growth in the resale of homes, inventory growth. Some of them are even staying on the market a little longer than they were. Well, it's because a lot of times sellers don't want to think that they're a seller. They know they're selling their house, but they're not thinking like a business person selling an asset and maximizing the value. Now, I will share with you, there are strategies right now. We've talked about them on Ron Siegel Radio for a long time. And now we're starting to see others catch on to them. But let's chat about this once again. What if you put out your house and you're talking to your agent and you sell something, you say, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, I want to do this on my house. I want to sell my house maximum price. We all do. Mark, the agent, says, okay, the value right now is $1.2 million. Okay, think about this for a second. What if you went to $1.25 million and you advertising, and it's got to be done with advertising or else it doesn't work. Builders are doing this. Why aren't you? Now, right now, if we were to look at Mortgage News Daily, and yes, I can do that because Mortgage News Daily says right now the 30-year fixed rate loan is 6.99. Freddie Mac says a 30-year fixed rate loan is 6.81. Mortgage Bankers Association says 6.86. And our friends at OBMMI, they say 6.86. So I've given you, they're all in the upper sixes. So let's just say, for instance, knowing that interest rates are all in the upper sixes, what if you advertise seller-assisted financing in the upper 5% range potentially? You have to put that potentially in there because you're not a lender. And you don't know, you can't guarantee what somebody can do. They may not even qualify. But what you can do is say, okay, I'm going to take 3 or 4 or 5% of the listing amount, and I'm going to budget that toward buying down the interest rate. Now, you got to do it the right way. If a lender doesn't know how to do it the right way, then they're going to get messed up. So I'm going to share with you rsrlinks.com/buydown. rsrlinks.com/buydown. We've walked through this whole scenario. But let's go back to that property that was $1.2 million is the market price. You're listing it at $1.250. You could even go at $1.2 million and say, I'm going to seller assisted financing in the high fives. Have you ever seen a builder's sign that says that? Financing in the high fives. How do they do that? Well, they have a lender that they're working with. You can do the same thing. Ron Siegel Radio, give us a call. We'll help you. And you use part of that. So let's say you used, of the $1.2 million, you used 5%. That's $60,000. 4%, $48,000. You say, okay, I'm going to budget $48,000 toward buying down the interest rate into the upper fives. Now, when we structure this, you're not going to be worried about all of this stuff. You're going to say, here's the amount of money that I'm willing to allocate. Now, if you don't get a full price offer, then all bets are off. If you get into a bidding war, well, you're not going to have to spend as much money on the buy down, depending upon what the down payment is. We understand all of those scenarios. But now you're differentiating, because every other property, the buyers are out there thinking, I got to be looking at a 7% loan. And now you're talking about financing in the high fives. Think about that. And if you want more information, again, rsrlinks.com/buydown. rsrlinks.com/buydown. And you can figure out exactly how to do it. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your affecting your house. So I lost my set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.